All right, so we'll start sitting, and I'll suggest cross-legged or Baddha Konasana because we'll be taking some circles, and it's just a little easier to do that way. Before we circle, though, give yourself a little wobble, a little bit of movement, allow yourself to settle. And eventually allow the movement to quiet down, and if it feels good to close your eyes, do that. Let your jaw relax. And without tucking the chin in, just allow the chin to drop downward. Take a few conscious breaths, being aware of your breath. We'll join hands to heart center. And here you can either take an Om with me or just listen. Breathe in. And then allow your head to bow down. You could open the eyes or keep them closed. We're going to release the hands down on the legs and just begin to make some circles. It might feel nice to exaggerate the movement, maybe let the shoulders come into play, the head. You can explore a little bit with the size of your circle. And then let's take a few going the other direction. Yes, yogis. Keep going this direction, but very gradually let it become smaller, smaller. A little spiral. And then once you're back in the center, we'll take the arms up over your head. Go over to the right side for a side bend, and we'll just pause here and add a rotation. So as you inhale, turn the chest up towards the ceiling, and on the exhale, turn down towards the floor. And as you're going along with this, you can choose to do different things with the top arm. If that feels good, you might try maybe a few rounds with the bent elbow the whole time. Or you could go straight. You could do like a really reach one, or maybe just a little quieter. Let's pause here. The next time the arm comes down, and then you'll crawl the arms out to the forward right diagonal, kind of in line with the right thigh, and bring the left hip down and just kind of press it back on the opposite diagonal. You make it a little stretch in the QL muscle on the left side. All right, let's come back up to center. We'll start with the arms up, and then over to the left side we go. As we inhale, turn open, and on the exhale, we'll close. And here too, you can experiment with what the top arm is doing. And then let's stay in the down position and crawl the arms a little forward on the left diagonal. And on the opposite side, you'll just reach down and back through the right hip. Let's come back up to center and change the way the legs are crossed just to give you a moment on the second side. It usually feels a little odd. And we'll take a twist. Let's go to the right side. Just any kind of twist here is fine. And then let's come to the second side. Now, returning to side one, let's put the left hand on the knee, the right hand behind you. Press down for a second to sit up tall, and then turn your face to look forward, and we'll reach the right arm up and over on the diagonal. A little stretch on the side body. Let's pull on the knee to come up and then change to side two, starting just with the twist. Right hand to left knee. Left hand presses down to sit you up nice and tall. We'll turn the face forward and then stretch the back arm up and over. Oh, yes. Great. Bring yourself back to center. Let's unwind. Stretch the legs out and just move a little bit through your feet, your ankles, whatever they want to do is fine. Now we'll spend a fair amount of time on your back doing various leg things, and one of them I want to demonstrate before you go down there because it's a little bit strange. So we'll begin here. We'll do a couple things like this, and then when we take the leg over, you'll scooch a little bit to this side of the mat, and then when you come over, the bent knee is down on the floor. You'll let go of the strap or the band, and then you'll find the bottom foot with the opposite hand. Yeah, and then here's the fun part. You keep this little clasp as you roll over onto the belly, and you'll look like I looked on the sidewalk this morning. Now from here, especially if the quad is tight, this side leg will want to go back. See if you can keep it to the side, even if you have to do that with the bent knee. And I'll say all that when we get there, but I just wanted you to get a little visual so you know what's coming. Okay, friends, so here we come on back. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess our other friends aren't coming. It's just us. Now here, you could either take the band or the strap around the right foot with a straight leg, or if that doesn't work for you and you want to just hold the knee and give the knee a little stir, that's fine too. So if you're going for the straight leg, let's do the right leg up first and just give the leg a little stir in the hip socket. And let's keep it small-ish, like the size of how about a melon? And then we'll pause and reverse the direction that you're going. Great. Let's pause here, and if the left leg is straight on the floor, we'll bend it up. Move both pieces of your strap into the right hand. We'll take the straight right leg right and the bent left knee left. And you can either keep the outer foot on the floor, or you could pick up the left leg so it's hovering but still with the bent knee. Now you might discover here the right leg has the ability to go lower down, closer to the floor than the left, but let's resist that so the thighs are equidistant to the floor here. And now here's our fun part. Let's come back up to the center. Keep the left knee bent, put it on the floor, and move whatever you're holding into the left hand, and slide the pelvis over to the right side of the mat. Yeah. Now from here, we'll take the bent knee down to the floor, and then the right leg will come over, and we'll just be in this twist for a second. Yeah. Oh, it feels good to twist, doesn't it? No, yeah. Yeah, me too. So while you're here, think about bringing the right hip down away from your head, just a little bit. And then when you're ready for this exciting part, before we go, see if you can scooch the left foot a little more towards the right side of the mat so it's a little easier grip. You're going to let go of the strap or your band, and then try to find right foot to left hand. Yeah. Right foot, right hand, left foot. Right hand, left foot, yeah. And then take left hand, it's like yoga twister. Left hand up by your head. Keep your foot hand hold. Keep the right leg wide as we roll over to the belly, or you could just go halfway. And if you need to bend the right knee any amount, that's fine. Oh, yeah. So I'm hoping for this one, you'll feel this in the front of the left leg, the quad or the hip flexor or both. Actually, one of the quads is a hip flexor. Yogi. And then to get out of this, let's just let go of the foot and roll onto your back again. Take a second here, just to reset. Let's have both legs either bent or straight, just to take a quick comparison, little check-in. Right side versus the left. Then we can be ready here for side two. I'll do the left leg. And at first, just bring the leg up there and start to make your circle. And then we'll take a few rounds the other direction. Now let's pause just with the leg where it is. If the right knee was straight, let's bend it up and move both pieces of the strap or the band in the left hand. Left straight leg goes left, bent right knee goes right. And if you would like to pick up the right leg and hold on to it, that's an option too. Try not to let the left leg go lower than the right for this one. And then we'll bring the legs back up to the center. Keep the right knee bent and set the foot down. Now let's slide the hips over towards the left side of the mat a little bit. Put the band in the right hand and we'll hang out in this twist. So the right bent knee goes to the floor. The left straight leg either goes all the way to the floor or just hovers. Yeah, coming into that twist. And now think about the left hip moving down away from your head, just to give the left side of the waist a little extra space. Before we take this last piece of the puzzle, you might scooch the right leg a little bit to the left so it's an easier grip. And then when you're ready, we'll let go of the strap or the band. Try to find right foot, left hand together. Right arm up by your head. And then watch the left leg for a second as we go to the side. Try not to let it go down. Yeah, if you need to bend the knee, that's fine. If going all the way over doesn't work, just go partial, and you'll still get the nice stretch on the right side. And we don't anticipate really large classes anytime soon, but as a teacher, this one's fun to have a really large group because everybody's a little different. And I always worry, I'm like, oh no, what if somebody comes into class right now? What are they gonna think? Okay, friends, let's let go of the foot. Bring yourself onto your back and just pause for a second. Let's take another check-in. Both legs bent or straight, just something the same. Take a breath in and a breath out. So from here, let's bend the knees. And actually bring the knees in towards your chest. Just give yourself a little squeeze. Let's take a little side to side motion. And then it might feel good to change that into a circle, just stirring the legs around, a little circle on the sacrum. And let's go the other direction. Yeah, so meeting next in an all fours position. Any way you want to get there, it's fine. Do feel free to create extra padding if you need it under the knees. And then once you're set here in the all fours position, give yourself a moment for any kind of spinal movement. Circles, cat-cow, side bends, twists. So for me, I'm not, I can't go on my hands, so I'm going to go on fists. Yeah. Yeah, things you don't think about, huh? And then let's pause here, going back into a child's pose. Keep the arms forward and let the elbows rest down on the floor. And actually, this next little sequence is from the Vinyasa tradition. So from this position, on the inhale, try to pull the floor towards you as you come up, straighten out the arms, little bit like cow pose. And then on the exhale, you'll round and shift back to child's pose, bringing the elbows back to the floor. So that's the pattern here. We'll make a little circle. Inhale forward and up. And exhale, round and back. And every time you come to the forward and up, create just a slight little pull action, hands towards the knees.
I like this.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And then we'll change our pattern in a moment. So the next time you head into child's pose, let's have the toes tucked under if that works for you. Walk the knees back a little bit. Give the mat a little push forward with your hands and draw back through the heels, back through the hips. Walk the hands a little further forward. Press down into the mat and now try to pull hands to the knees as you round up through cat pose. Stretch back through your toes and allow the pelvis to come forward. We'll bend the elbows and come down to the belly. Yeah, once you're here on the belly, lift the front of the shoulders off the floor, and one side at a time. We'll take little slithers here, just making a little side-to-side motion. Now this next one will be a little bit of strength work. It looks like nothing, but it's a lot of effort. So let's pause and tuck your chin a little so the forehead goes on the floor, and then make fists with your hands so that like if you were wearing a ring, that part of the fingers would be on the floor. And then press the knuckles into the floor. Press the shoulders away from the floor. The head will stay down. And just hold for a little bit. And then back off. We're going to do it again with an add-on. So the forehead stays down the whole time. Press the knuckles. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Keep that effort. And now lift the knuckles off the floor, but keep the head down. See what I mean? And then put the knuckles down, just pause. We're going to do it again. Press the knuckles into the floor. Press the shoulders towards the ceiling. Just hold this for a second. And then keep that idea, but now lift the knuckles. They're not going to go high, like barely off the floor. And then knuckles to the floor. Give a little extra press. Oh. And then down. Let's make a little pillow for the forehead. Yeah, did you feel that one? Yeah, that's good for the upper back. Keep the forehead.
Problem these days.
Yeah, you and all of us. Bend the knees and give the legs a little swish from side to side, just letting it go. Oh, I bet James would hate that one. We'll do it next time he's here. All right, guys, let's put the legs back down. And then go back into downward facing dog. Any way you want to get there is fine. Any kind of movement once you're there is fine. I'm just going to stay in all fours myself. Right. And then from down dog, go ahead and widen your stance. Bend the knees and walk your hands to the feet. And just prop up with the forearms on the thighs. So in this squatty shape. Draw the pelvis back, move the chest forward to elongate a little bit. And then we'll do some twists here. Inhale the right side up. Exhale to bring it down. Inhale left side up. And down. Take it again, each side. Just go at your own pace. And from here, we'll come all the way up, lifting the arms, lengthening the legs. Give the wrists a few little circles to bring the arms down. And then from here, let's keep your wide stance about mat's width apart, or even a little wider if you wanted to step off. And we'll bring the arms up overhead. Grab a hold of the left forearm, pull up and then over to the right side for side bend. Yeah. And then let's change, coming up to center. Lift and over we go. And then we'll go back to side one with an add-on. So pull up and over. Now let's lift the left heel so you're up a little more, and that'll give you some more room to go. And then slowly, slowly put the heel down. You can bend the knee a little bit too. Upright yourself back to center, changing sides first, up and over. Stay over, lift the heel, that'll bring you a little extra. Stay over that much as the heel sinks down, maybe add a little bend in the knee. And then on the inhale, we come up, release the arms, release the legs, step the feet just right underneath you. And let's take a hula hoop asana, move around in a circle. Yes. Go the other direction. Okay, friends. So let's stay at the back of the mat. Root down through the legs. Inhale the arms up and we'll stay. From here, press down through the ball of the big toe. But at the same time, think of the inner ankles, the inner knees, the inner groins lifting up. Yeah, take another breath in. And then on the exhale, we'll forward fold, possibly bending the knees. Inhale, halfway up we come, lengthen. And then let's go plank to the belly. I'll meet you there. And then once you're on the belly, we'll set up for a forearm plank. So you bring the elbows right underneath the shoulders. You can interlace the fingers or the palms down, whatever you want. And then at first, let yourself just kind of slump down for a second. Give yourself a little bit of a wobble. And then from here, let the wobbling settle. Root down through the forearms, and without going anywhere, try to pull the arms back towards your chest. Pull the chest forward. You'll lift up, so it's a little bit cobra-y at first. And now lift up through the navel. Yeah, so you find that engagement here. Just hold this for a moment. And then relax. So we'll do that again, and I'm going to have you lift up a little more, but this time instead of pulling the forearms back, I'm going to have you push them forward. So for now, just neutral. Let's lift up through the navel. Find that first. Breathe in. And then on the exhale, go onto the knees and give the forearms a little push down and a little push forward, and think of right below the navel, lifting up just a little bit more. Great. Think of the back of the pelvis as being nice and wide. And then lower down and rest.
You find amazing ways
To make-
isometrically to
make it worse.
make strength.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. So we're gonna go again with a possible add-on with the legs, which will involve straightening them. If you think you want to go there, just tuck toes. Okay, so here we go. Just nothing at first. Lift through the navel. And then all at the same time, go onto the knees, press the forearms a little forward, and think of lifting a little more just below the navel. Now, only the right side will straighten. Try not to twist the pelvis. Yeah. And then put it down and do the left side. Straighten the leg, but don't let the pelvis twist. And down. Do right side again. This time stay and then add on the left. So they're both up. Just again, lift right below the navel, and it's okay if the pelvis goes a little higher for this. Yeah. If you're straight-legged, bend the knees slightly and try to draw the knees forward towards your elbows. Keep pressing the elbows down and forward on the floor. Yeah. And then down we come, nice and easy. Don't go splat, just flat. She went flat. It happened. Yeah. Just rest. Let's bend the knees, give the legs a little swish circle. And another direction like that. Great. Okay, so we'll take a calf stretch here. I'll offer two different choices. Some of you might like downward dog. If you want to do it in down dog, go there. And then some of you might like instead to do it at the wall. So I'm going to demo the wall version. If you're in down dog, bring the right leg just a little forward, like an inch or so, and try to press the heel down. If you're at the wall, you'll step the right leg back, pressing the heel down. And for everybody, if you want to do a little side to side, that's an option just to get into different parts of the calves. Just move the pelvis right and left a little bit. Nice. Wow. Yeah, that'll do it. And then whatever you've done, we'll change legs. So second leg, maybe I'll go here. Actually, that's probably a better view for you guys at home. And then press the heel downward, a little side to side in the pelvis if you want to add that. Okay. And then let's just come up to stand any way you want to get there. Inhale all the way up. Yes, yogis, let's release the arms. Just stay standing, separate your feet a little wider than you normally do, and be very lazy in your stance and just move around. Let the spine move, the shoulder blades, the arms, maybe the head. Okay, so we'll take another, this one's a little bit for the upper back in warrior one pose. So let's come to the front and we'll do a couple of poses after that. If you want blocks, you can have them just accessible. Let's stand hands to the hips, reach the right leg back with the heel down. And for this one, don't go too long, just a comfortable distance for yourself. Press the back heel down and also try to press it back. Like you wanted to stretch the mat apart with your feet. That's it. And then let's take the arms up. And then all at the same time, inhale here. On the exhale, bend the front knee, bend the elbows, and hinge a little bit forward, keeping the upper back engaged. Inhale, we'll return to center. Let's take that a few more times. Yeah. Now let the knee bending really just be to accommodate the hinge forward. It doesn't have to be a deep bend, but it could. Great, let's pause in this hinged position. And now think about your shoulder blades and just almost like a little pulse, let them squeeze closer together and then back off of that. Do that a few times. Great. You ready to get out of this? Let's release the arms down to the floor or the blocks. Take a few rounds to slowly bend and straighten the left leg. And every time you do that, every time you go straighter, press the heel down and try to push the mat forward with your heel. And that'll also help get the left hip back. Great. So let's pause with the front leg, your version of straight. We're next going into a triangle pose variation. Put the right hand to the hip. Just leave the pelvis alone, but let the chest start to turn open to the right. So there's a little bit of a twist going on in the torso. That's it. And then turn the chest to the floor. Let's do that a few more times. So keep the hand to the hip and we'll turn open to the right. And then center. One more time back and forth. And the next time you turn open, we'll stay. Feel free to keep the hand to the hip or raise the hand up towards the ceiling. Gaze can be up at the hand or down towards the left foot. And then to get out, let's release the arm. Rebend the front knee, bring both arms back. And then on the inhale, come up to warrior one with the front knee bent and the arms up overhead. That's it. Inhale. Exhale to step forward, coming out of that. Great. Let's set up for side two. So hands to the hips, left leg steps back, the heels down on the floor. Not too wide of a stance for this version. And then press the back heel down and back. Inhale the arms up. As we exhale, we'll bend the front knee, hinge forward, bend the elbows, engage the upper back. Inhale, we return to center. Take that a few more times. Looking over the edge. I have a very brave little baby tortoise. It terrifies me. He's a little daredevil. He's always looking over the edge.
At least he looks fun.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, I lost count. So let's pause next time we're down in the bent over position and do that small little pulse. So the shoulder blades move closer together and then back off. And let me, as you're doing that, a little more specific, the lower part of the shoulder blade, the bottom tip is what moves closer. Don't try to squeeze the upper part too much. Good. Okay, when you're done, let's release the arms. Take a few rounds to bend and straighten the front leg. Little hamstring stretch. Every time you go straighter, press the heel down and forward. And that'll help you bring the right hip back. And then pause the next time the front leg is your version of straight. Left hand to the hip. Just leave the pelvis alone. Turn the chest open to the left. And then return to center. Do that a few times, just like this. And then the next time you go open, we'll add in the arm, if you wish. Sometimes we add the arm and it messes up everything else, so you do what you need to. Think of the right hip drawing towards the back of the mat. All right, and then down comes the arm. Let's rebend the front knee, sweep the arms back, and come up just for a brief warrior one. Yeah. All right, and then step forward, and that's that. Take a little hula hoop, let's work it out. And then we'll go the other direction. Okay, friends. So next we'll do a couple different variations of tree pose. So let's actually stay at the front of the mat because we'll later be sweeping the leg back. Hands onto the hips and just go onto the right big toe and let the leg swing open and close without the pelvis moving with the leg. And then we'll pause in the open position. You can keep the toes down, you could come up a little bit, or you could come up a lot, but don't put the foot on the knee joint. Now from here, press the standing foot, the left foot, firmly down into the floor. And let's take the arms up overhead. Vrikshasana. Awesome. Release. And just that on side two. So you can keep the hands on the hips to feel if the pelvis is moving. We want to keep it still. Going into the left toe, do a few open and closes. Sit and we'll pause in the open position, staying down or coming up, your choice. Once you're there, arms can come up if they wish. Press the right foot down into the floor, and you might feel a residual hugging in of the outer hip. That's a good thing. Okay, nice looking tree you got there. Let's release. And then we'll come again. Let me show the transition. So from tree, whatever height of tree you're taking is fine. We'll keep the pelvis forward. Keep the same rotation, degree of rotation in the up leg. And then you reach back, or you what? Just like so. So let's figure out your tree. Just get there. Any height is fine. For this version, we'll keep the pelvis forward. Let's take the arm. Just go ahead and start with them up. And then you bend the left knee. Sweep the right leg back, keeping that degree of rotation. Heel to the floor, and here we are where you want. Great. Now for this position, let's hinge forward, and instead of the cactus arms, just take the arms alongside you. Notice if the shoulders want to drop to the floor. Can you draw them back so the collarbones are open? Great, we'll just hold. And now from here, we'll add in a warrior three. Let's hinge forward. And then on the right leg, see if you can rotate the inner thigh back as it lifts. You can keep the arms back as I'm doing, or you can take one or both arms forward. To get out, let's go back to warrior one pose. Just glide, arms up. Oh, yay, we did it. And then step forward. And that's that for side one. Okay, same thing side two. So figure out your tree pose, doesn't matter how high. For this version though, pelvis stays forward and keep that. This is the easy part. I won't watch. You bend the right knee, sweep the left leg back, arms are up, and here we are in warrior one. Yeah, you got there. And then take the arms back or just alongside you, hinge forward. And this is not a rounding forward, it's really a long diagonal. Move the front of the shoulders back. And as you're ready, we'll come into our warrior three. On the back leg, roll the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. As you lift, And then we'll glide back into warrior one pose. Arms come up. Inhale. Exhale to step forward. And we're done with those. Great. Yeah, just move around a little bit. Anything you want is fine. And then let's do some more leg stretchy stuff. So be at the front. You might want blocks if you have them. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down, forward fold. Halfway up we come. And then down we go. Let's step the right leg back, knee down. Toes can be tucked or flat, your choice. And then we'll inhale here. As you exhale, draw the hips back and straighten the front leg. Take that just a few times on your own pace. Yes. Now notice here, likely the pelvis is shifting to the right every time you pull back. Just notice that, or we'll make an adjustment in a second. It's part of it's a counterbalance and also a stretch avoidance strategy. So the next time we go back, let's pause. You can move the blocks back if you need. Can you move the pelvis a little to the left? Oh yeah, it won't go far. And then keep it to the left and drop the left sitting bone. Ah, yeah, great. Stay there. Try to draw the pelvis back and the rib cage forward. Spread out a little through your toes and drop the pinky toe back. Yeah. Excellent. And then from here, stay in the position, but back off a little on the leg. Don't worry if the pelvis shifts. And can you bring now the toes towards the floor? Towards, not all the way. And you'll bend at the ankle, bringing the toes towards the midline, towards the right, and the ankle will bow out a little to the left. Yes, it's a sickled.
Surprisingly difficult.
Yeah, and you'll likely get either side of the shin, tibialis anterior, or top of the foot. It's an area we don't pay a lot of attention to, but here we are. Now, if you do want a little more, move the pelvis again just a little to the right. I meant, actually for this one to the right, and then move the chest forward. Oh, there too, extra bonus. Okay, gently back off. Let's rebend the front knee, walk the foot wide, and bring your arms to the inside. On or not on blocks, up to you. And then just circle a little bit in the hips. Yeah, you could go both directions. Good. Okay, to change sides, let's lift the back knee to straight leg lunge. And then we'll just change. So widen the hands and then step the front leg back, back leg forward, knee down. Of course, if you need to put anything under the knee, you can. Toes tucked or not on the back leg. Inhale. Exhale, drawing the pelvis back. Oh, this side's tight too. And then go back and forth. Just take a check-in. Notice if the pelvis is going left, it likely is when you pull back. And then we'll stay back there, move the pelvis a little right. It won't go too far. And as you're doing that, also bring the right sitting bone down. Yeah, spread out a little through the toes. Pull back through the pinky toe. Yours doesn't. Just think about it. Imagine. Yeah. Or another trick is to bring the ball of the big toe forward. Yeah, not too much, just a little. All right, so let's stay here, but back off a little bit. If you can, bring the sole of the foot to or towards the floor. And then you'll bend at the ankle so the toes go in towards the left. Oh, yeah. Are you feeling it same place on this leg or different? Oh, right there, yeah. Good. Now for this one, yeah, do let the pelvis go a little left. Move the chest forward. And then back off. Let's bend the front knee, widen the foot. arms to the inside, and then little circles or big circles, your choice. Go the other way. Now to get out of this one, let's do kind of the same thing. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. If you're on blocks, let's get rid of them. And then your choice, either downward facing dog or child's pose or anything kind of like that. Yes. And then let's everybody go to child's pose. Bring the hips back towards the heels. Arms could be forward or you could bring them back if you want. And then we'll come up to sit. Take the legs forward. Do feel free to sit on something, especially if you find that the pelvis is dropping back and the back is rounding. So just give you a little bit of height. Let's have the left knee bent down on the floor, the right knee bent up towards the ceiling. You could be, here I am like this. If you wanted to cross over and be like that, you could do it that way. Give the hands behind you, just a little pressure down to sit up tall. And then we'll go this direction, either hooking left elbow outside of the right thigh or just hand to knee is fine. Give the back hand a little pressure down and that'll help the back not round, not hunch. And think about your right shoulder blade moving in towards the spine. Think about the left back ribs moving away from the spine. And yes, they're attached, but just that direction. Now on the left, and then the right side, the back side, think of creating more space between the armpit and the hip. And then let's undo the twist, keep the legs. Lean over to the left just for a second, just for a little counter. And then we'll come back up, pick up the right foot. You can hold, like I am, arm to the inside, hand to the outside of the foot. If that doesn't work, whatever you got is fine. And then we'll just make a circle. Or not.
So I fall off my blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're up really high, just be careful. And then let's pause and do more of like a forward back, bend and straighten. And it might not straighten that far and it might not bend that deep. So bow and arrow. Actually, there is a pose called Archer's Pose. This is a prep for it. It's a crazy pretzel one. Let's pause here, sit up tall and draw the shin across and either hold with your hands or hold with your elbows. Now, sometimes we think we're getting deeper, but then we end up kind of hunched over. If that's the case, regress it a little bit so you can sit up tall. And let's take a little side to side. Nice work. So I'll show three possibilities. Option one is to scooch the bottom knee in, stack right knee over the left. So it looks like that Gomukhasana legs. If that's a no-go for you, you can try this one with the right shin over the left shin. Or if none of those work, Sukhasana, right shin in front. So whatever you're doing, just for a second, lift the pelvis, scooch it back and come down so you're a little more forward on the pelvis. Yeah, for me that one pinches in the hip. It's no good on the knee. Yeah. This one's okay? Yeah. Great. And then let's everybody, whatever shape you're in, take your thumbs up here into the hip creases. Press down with the thumbs and kind of wrap the fingers around as you sit up tall. Keep them there for a second. If hinging forward feels okay, you can add that in. And if you like the hands here, keep them there. If you want to let them go, take them forward. If anybody wants to add in just a small amount of movement, a little side to side, might feel good, or even a little cat-cow, something like that. Okay, let's come back up to center and very gently just undo the legs. Bring them out in front, jiggle them out. And then we'll set up for side two. First, this one. So the right knee on the floor, the left knee bent up, either here or crossed over. Sometimes one side means one thing and the other is the other. And let's actually start with the hands behind you like we did on the other side. Press down to lift up. We don't want to twist with the rounded spine. And then go find your twist. Right hand either to the knee or the shin or elbow on the outside. Now, once you start to settle here, give the back hand a little pressure down. See if you can create length on the left side of the waist. Draw the left shoulder blade towards your spine and move the right ribs away from the spine. Subtle, it's little. Keep the legs, undo the twist, bring the arms over to the right and just lean over for a second. And then up we come. Yeah, so we can hold on, either hold to the foot or whatever you've got really, and we'll start with our circles. I love this one. It's totally fine if everything is moving a little bit for this one, not a big deal. And then let's pause here and do our bow and arrow, forward and back. Sit up tall, draw the shin across, and then hold either with your hands or with your elbows. And here too, the second side might be a different situation. Rock. Now, whatever you did on side one, try it out for side two, but know that if you need to change into a different one, it's okay. Just push the bottom foot a little forward towards me. Yeah, that's it. And then for everybody, lift the hips for a sec, scooch back and then down. So a little more forward on the pelvis. Slide the thumbs up into the hip creases. Press down and wrap the hands around a little bit. Sit up really tall at first. And then only if it's wise, you can hinge forward. Maybe the arms come ahead. Maybe you add a little movement. Is this one okay on your left knee? Okay. And then let's come on out of that. Gently undo. Gently. Give them a little wiggle again. Good. And then after that pretty extreme external rotation, let's just neutralize. So put the feet on the floor, knees bent, and take the arms like this outside of the legs and just press legs and arms in, legs out. And that's a nice little reset for the hips. And back off. Let's do it again. Great. Okay, coming out of that, let's come down onto your back. And we'll keep the knees bent. Let's take the feet wide and just do a little bit of windshield wiper. Now, also after what we just did, you might go slower with these than you normally do. Sometimes going from deep flexion in the hip to extension, the transition is a little sticky, so be gentle. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to middle. Take your feet not quite so wide apart and bring the right foot underneath, close to the left buttock.
love this one.
Yes, good. And then the right leg can drop down. It doesn't have to touch the floor, but if you need to put a prop under it, you can. And then let's pick up the left leg gently and bring it in towards you. You can take any handhold you like. Now for this one, we get to relax the feet. And I'm guessing most of you will feel this on the right side, either like deep in the kind of the groin, or you might feel a little more on the side. From here, put the left foot back down, gently, undo the right. And then we'll set up for side two. So the left foot scoops underneath. The right leg comes in and you can hold on to it. Again, if you need any proppage under the left leg, you can. You could even just hold your hand under the leg if you needed to. Let both feet relax. And if you're anything like me, the two sides don't feel remotely similar. I get very different, just totally different sensation on side two. And now let's undo. And once you're back in the center, just a little reset here. Press your hands into the legs, right where at the hip crease. Do that a few times. Yes, yogis. All right. So if there's anything else that you would like for your body before Shavasana, go ahead and take whatever that could be. If you need to set up your Shavasana, any kind of props, absolutely fine. And as you settle in here, you relax your face all around your eyes. Imagine the back of your body spreading out a little wider. Imagine the front of your body dropping inward. you bring your awareness back to the body. Start to move a little bit, fingers, toes. If it feels good to stretch, maybe add that in. Whenever you're ready, bend your knees. Roll over to one side and meet up in a seated position. Thank your own body, everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.